What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode 2 of Hearts and Arts Podcast. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Gerard Arrienda, and I am your host. And I have another special guest with me, a very good friend of mine and a fellow UCR TFDP alum, Mya Maddox. Mya, welcome to HIA. My second guest in this show. Nice. How do you feel being in my podcast/talk show?
I am so happy to be here. I'm so excited. You don't even understand. I just love conversating about theater, and I always bring it up everywhere in my life. So I'm very excited to be here.
Don't we all? We're artists. Alrighty. Well, Mya, I'm gonna pass this speaker stick to you, and I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself and say a few things about yourself to our audience.
Cool. Hello, my name is Mya Maddox. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I just graduated from UCR, Theater, Film, and Digital Production with Gerard here. I am a actor, director, wannabe writer, and I love the theater, but film is pulling me as well.
And
Yeah.
Mya is an amazing filmmaker, if I may add, too. I've seen her work before, and I will get into it because I really want to, and I'm extremely excited about it. I mean, her casting, her storytelling, and the immersion of the camera work, it is so amazing. And yeah, so Mya's a very good friend of mine who also, like my good friend Ty, who I had on the previous episode, was part of Golden Mean Players, which is an online on campus theater group at UCR, and I was and I still am and forever will be a proud member of that club, and so is Mya. I had so many great memories in there with Mya and the rest of our GMP fam. And yeah, she was also one of the first friends that I made too. Mya, how would you like describe our time during like that phase in our life, the GMP, college theater, and all that?
It was honestly a breath of fresh air because my first 2 years at Riverside, I couldn't find a theater club. I went to Rush Week, I think like the first week there, and I walked around very silently, just like, peeking at every table, and nothing was theater. I don't remember saying anything because I definitely would have tried to join it. And then I think it was like our winter quarter second year, Myra, our good sis Myra, she brought it up to myself because I met her in orientation, that she wanted to pick up this theater club again, and she knew I like theater. And Gerard, you were one of our first like members to come to the meeting, first person like ever, I think, if I remember, to come to the meeting. You're like a true OG, dude, and like you came to every meeting you could. So it was just a really good vibe all the time to see at least one familiar face. And then as the club grew, we still saw you there. So it was just it was good to still have that, original like tie to the first ever, like the struggle of getting the club up. It was great. Even on mine, you were there. It was a good vibe all the time.
Yeah, and I was there by choice too. I wanted to be there for you guys, like, because you guys gave me the good vibes. You guys gave me the family vibes, and it was just very amazing. Like, shout out to everybody who's watching this when I was during our online time because of environmental conditions. Yeah, that's how I met you guys too, online. But when we started getting in person, that's when our bond started to get stronger. Like I literally felt the family bond the minute I stepped into Studio 411, and the atmosphere was just everything. Like, oh my goodness, like you could definitely feel the family vibe in there. It was so amazing. Yeah.
It honestly threw me back to like high school theater clubs, and I thought I would never be able to feel that again after graduating high school. So I'm so glad I still had it, coming into college and all the way to graduation. Really cool.
Same. Like my senior year of high school, like I can relate to that very much. I walked into my high school theater and instantly I was like, wow, I can get used to this. Like every other thing that I was involved in on campus did not give me that instant feeling like theater did. Like I
Yeah.
instantly felt like I was at home. And when I
Yeah.
graduated high school, went to community college for a couple years, didn't get that same feeling. And I thought, wow, that probably was a one-time thing. But transferred over to UCR, went into 411, and I felt that exact same feeling. And I was like, okay, something is definitely going to happen here. Something good, something satisfying. And I was right too, because unlike my community college time, my time at UCR and GMP was, I, again, a family vibe, like the atmosphere again. And also, not to mention, I had so much fun when you hosted choreography night during Welcome Week. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. What was that? What was that we were dancing to? Dancing Queen by ABBA?
Yeah.
The Mamma Mia
Yeah.
version. Yes.
Yeah. It was so fun. Yeah, Myra and I choreographed that. I think it was a couple nights before or the night before. But every time I have to choreograph something, I always go to Myra because I know she's a dancer as well, and I know she choreographed stuff in the past. And I'm not a choreographer, but I like to dance. I respect it a lot. And ever since my injury, I couldn't dance, but I
Mm,
danced a little bit here and there, and it warms my heart that I was able to do that for GMP. Oh, it was so much fun. I was
Dancing
so
Queen. Yep.
yeah, dancing.
I
Yeah,
can still remember it vividly too. Like the song just starts playing in my head everywhere. And next
yes,
thing you know, yeah. I still remember some of the dance moves a little bit by heart too, not just by brain, by heart. And
Ooh, everybody
that's,
killed it.
I know, right? Like just rewatching the videos and like reliving the
Yeah.
memories. It feels so real. Like that's how much I miss it. That's how much I loved it. I really want to relive that again, but who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll get the whole gang back together. We'll relive that memory and all of that. Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of memories, I went over this with my friend Ty, our friend Ty, in episode 1, and it's that artists, for them, it all starts with a spark. Again, I found my spark when during my time at high school theater. Where did you find your spark, Maya?
That's a good question. I think it was so in middle school there was I tell this story a lot. There was a San Francisco Shakespeare Festival. I am from the Bay Area, East Bay specifically, and the San Francisco Shakespeare Festival, which is held in San Francisco, would come to middle schools and they would put on a program for like a whole like quarter. We wouldn't have quarters, but like for a few months. And so they would come to the middle school, hold auditions for a Shakespeare play, and we would perform it. And I didn't want to do it. My older sister, who's a couple years older, she was in 8th grade, I was in 6th grade. She wanted to do it. And so my parents was like, hey, Maya, you do it as well, just so we can pick you guys up at the same time instead of picking you up and then like 2 hours later having to pick her up. So I was like, okay, fine, okay. And so I ended up doing it. And I was super shy. I wasn't talking to anybody. I had like 2 friends, and which isn't bad. Small circles aren't bad, but it was very hard for me to open up and show any emotions that I had about anything, any passions, anything. Um, so then we did like workshops of studying Shakespeare's words. And, I was like, who's this old man that writes these weird plays? But then as I kept going and kept learning the play, I think it was the Scottish play that I did first, or was it Romeo and Juliet? I think I can't remember. But I was like, these are so beautiful. Words are so beautiful. Like I was taken aback when I would find out what those words actually meant underneath all of the heavy and like dense language. It was beautiful, beautiful translations. And so that kind of like shook me at first, but I didn't know how to act yet. But I was very taken aback by words. I just didn't know how to put them into play, I guess. And then I ended up doing the program for 2 more years until my 8th grade. And then in the 8th grade, I did Romeo and Juliet for the second time. And I did it with my best friend. And we just had so much fun putting that together. She was Juliet and I was the nurse. And in that play, the nurse is super close to Juliet, like that's like her second mom almost, like so it was just we bonded the most there. We had the most fun. She forgot her lines and we were both on stage. We had to just compose ourselves, It was a good time because it's like it really exemplified the meaning of live theater and how like exhilarating it can be and the adrenaline of it pumping through your veins and just that's I love that feeling of that rush and the nerves like building in my body, but the nerves like pile and get thrown out with my voice and the lines that I say. And I just remembered loving that feeling. So that I ended up for high school, when I went to high school, I applied for a performing arts academy and it was like a raffle to get in. So I ended up getting into that. That was super cool. So yeah, my spark would have had to be that Shakespeare program. And I didn't really realize it until probably after high school and I decided to major in it to go to college. But yeah, Shakespeare, man. I tell everyone that I owe Shakespeare a lot because yeah, his words really pulled me out of my shell.
Like I can say for a lot of theater kids out there, it's safe to say that it all started with Shakespeare in some way, shape, or form. Like, yeah. When I said I found my spark when I started in high school, I lied. I actually started when I was 8 years old, but I say I started when I was in high school because to repeat myself from episode 1, that's when I started taking theater more seriously, like more than just a hobby. And to relate to your story with Shakespeare and all, when you said you had that rush of good feeling when you were performing Romeo and Juliet, I had that exact same feeling when I was performing Midsummer Night's Dream, which I got my concussion in. I'll get to that later. I didn't get to share it in episode 1, but yeah, that's also a sign too. Like usually when someone steps on stage for the first time in their life, they usually get stage fright. But yeah, I mean, even theater kids do. Like even actors get stage fright on their first time, stepping on camera or on stage for the first time as well. But it's rare that they continue to do it despite that experience, and that's a sign too, because like performing on stage, I'm sure you can agree with me when I say this, you feel like you're flying, like you're having this pixie dust moment. Like
Yeah.
Peter Pan says it best: faith, trust, and pixie dust. Give yourself those three things, and it feels like whatever it is that you're doing, in our case, theater, performing, acting, and all that, it feels like just outworldly, and you want more of it. Like you want more of that feeling because
Yeah.
it's passion. Passion is everything.
I agree so much, Gerard. I always tell people it's so funny that you bring up the word passion because I every time someone is like stuck in life or just like I don't know what to do or just like I don't know what to do next, like what am I doing with my life? I'm just saying whatever you love to do, just make sure you continue to do that and you'll be fine. Whatever you do in your life, just make sure your passion is still there and present and you'll be happy because that's gonna keep you grounded and that's gonna keep you level minded and insane around in this to live in this world, so just that's why I'm always like whatever I do in life, people ask you, probably uh all of our us graduates, what are you doing after graduation? What now? I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. I just know for sure my passion is going to be in there some way, somehow, some shape, some form, because it's the most important thing. Whatever your passion and you can't let it go, or you're going to be miserable. So
Yep.
I'm so glad at that.
Yeah, that's us right there, fresh out of college. We just graduated. We've got our degrees.
Yes.
Now the question is, what's next? We don't know specifically, but we do know one thing for sure. It's definitely in the arts field because, as you said, passion. You got to have that. Otherwise, it's it's not going to be as healthy for you physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Like you need
Yeah.
your passion. You need to like take advantage of that too. Um, yeah, that's one of the things I learned during my time at UCR too. Not many people have the same abilities as you do. In fact, your abilities, especially artistic ones, are extremely rare. And if you're blessed to have them with you, take advantage of those because, again, not many people have those abilities. And if you're
Yes.
lucky enough to have it, again, take advantage of it. Use your passion, use your spark. That's gonna lead you down your your happy life, your happiness,
Yes. Yes. Mm, I agree 100%.
right in the
So,
fields.
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, Maya, I'm gonna get to your works, your two films. Um, one of them I actually had the pleasure of seeing during our what was it called? The culmination ceremony, the one before we graduated? Yeah, the
Yes.
culmination ceremony. What can you tell us a bit more about that? And feel free to shout your casts out. I'm sure they deserve their appreciation as well.
Yes. Oh gosh. So,
Story
um,
time.
story time. So, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to be quick. So the verdict. This is called the verdict. This is my second film I've made. It was for a class project, TFDP 150. It's a directing class, and she gave us our final to direct anything we would like. It could be a stage scene, it could be a film, it could be anything. So I have a doc, Google Doc of like prompts that I of either of plays that I would like to write but never got to. So I just skimmed through it and I found this prompt about writing something about the majority. So I wanted to write a homeless man being accused of something he didn't do. And that's where the verdict came about. Now, that was supposed to be a play. And so I ended up gathering all my people, which is Dania Dean, Jackson Enzer, Xavier Contreras, Karen, on Christine Chen. Oh, Christine Chen. She was helped as my assistant director. She did an amazing job. She helped me so much. So I emailed all of them and I was like, hey guys, I'm doing a project. I would love for you guys to be a part of it. Because they were in my class the quarter before. So I just reached out to them as well because I actually saw them be in it and stuff. So I was like, I think you guys can do it. I think you guys would be amazing. So I reached out to them and the first two people who responded was Xavier and Dania. So then I was like, hey, I wanted to do a stage version, but I also want to do a film version. Can you guys help me with the film version? So Xavier had a camera and we planned a day to go on campus and we went on campus and we did it in like 2 days. Each shooting day was about 4 hours. It was really fun actually. I wanna sneak peek. I'm gonna make a blooper reel and I'm gonna surprise everyone. It's gonna be so funny. But
Can't
it's
wait for
be
it.
all bloopers. It's gonna be so fun because it was so much laughter and stuff. But it was really cool. The editing process, very hard,
Mm,
very hard,
yeah.
very hard. Editing is difficult. Not my strong suit, but sometimes I'm like, maybe I should like focus on editing so I can get better at it because it's a weakness of mine, or I can just ask somebody who's better and ask them to help me. So that's like in my back of my mind. But yeah, so then the culmination came about, and I was like, I might as well do the same thing. But then I decided to do like a little hybrid. So I brought my stage play to it, and then I also had the film. And I tried to fit it in 5 minutes, and I kind of struggled. It came up to like 7 minutes, which is okay. But it came out pretty good. I was really proud of it. I was happy that all the people that I asked really collaborated and put their time and effort into it. And it was really heartfelt to see people trust me with their art and their artistry and their passion and their talents. It was something that really shook me, but I couldn't think of that as the process went along because it would have slowed down the process. So during the process, I was really like, ooh, like really director, like, and I tried to forget about how much I love all these people who really decided to support me and trust me with my vision. So yeah, it was really cool. The culmination went pretty well. It was a good time. I saw mistakes that I made, stuff I can fix in the future. I actually like I wasn't going to post it at all. I haven't posted it yet, and I wasn't going to at first because I saw how many mistakes I made and just like I didn't not like the project. I just, I was beating myself up as people do as artists. And but I am gonna post it just so when I make other stuff, I'll be able to look back and look at the progress I made. And I think that's the most important for artists to notice the growth in their talents and their passion. So I'm gonna post it one day. I just don't know yet. Probably the same time I finish the bloopers. But yeah, it was just my second film. I love the process. It's just I know it's a weakness of mine. I know I'm a newbie, so nobody come for me, please. Say like, oh yeah, this sucks. Not like that, but I understand. Right now, it's based on I'm doing filmmaking because I enjoy it, and the stories I want to tell is before all the talents I have or skills I have behind my belt. I'm just trying to tell a story first, and that story was all about the majority being favored over a person with riches compared to someone who doesn't, someone who's poor, and how just because you're poor, you're a criminal. I wanted to really like focus on that because my family is not the most rich people, and I know that we've been looked down upon just because we don't have so much money, and that just sucks. And I know people have it way worse who truly just not treated equally just because they went through a rough patch in life and couldn't really do anything about it. So I really want to tell that story regardless of how much filmmaking skills I have. So yeah, that story did mean a lot to me. Yeah, it was really fun though. I'm glad it was seen by a lot or by my people. There's mostly you guys there, which made my heart warm too. People I know and people I cherish behind the stage and even in the audience. So it was a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely satisfying to perform your art, but to showcase your art, and especially to the people who supported you and who mean a lot to you, that's a whole nother satisfaction right there. And
Yeah.
also what you're doing with the verdict, um, getting all of these social views and problems, and using art to address how much of a problem it is. I like that not only are you chasing your passion, but you're also using it for a good cause. Um that's another uh powerful way art can be used. Art is more powerful than most people think. It can actually be used as a weapon for good, for social change, for a better tomorrow. And I'm glad that you're on we, like as artists, we're on the front of doing that as well, peacefully too, if I may add.
Yeah. Yeah. It's art is a form of entertainment, and people will sit there as an audience and watch it, and they'll be entertained, they'll enjoy it, they'll feel something, whatever it is, whether it's anger, uh, um, sadness, happiness, joyfulness, they feel something. And I think that's the most important thing because emotions change perspective. And I think that's the most important thing in the world is to change people's perspective and how they view the world. So a change in perspective can lead to a change in the world in some form or way. So it's so important. That's kind of why if you look at my other film and like even a play I've written a long time ago, they're never really happy. And it's kind of my parents were kind of concerned, but I'm like, this is a way I want to pull emotions out of people. And I think it works the most because the emotions that they feel make them think about how they live or how they think. And then they're like, maybe we should think this way, or maybe we should look at something this way. And just that small little change in their lives can make a huge difference in the future about how others walk in the world and how others think and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of my work is dramatized a lot, but it's just because people feel more. Yeah.
Yeah. And remember, Shakespeare didn't start off with happy stories, or at least not too happy stories. Some of his tragedies had
Yeah.
a few of these upbeat moments where he's using some kind of like social societal views and transporting
Mhm.
them to make them a bit problematic, and it looks a little tragic to dramatic as well. So yeah, again, Shakespeare didn't start off happy. So, and speaking of like using societal views to make art such a powerful voice, you were actually involved in a play recently at UCR, a play that I assisted dramaturg, if I may add, Red Oleanders, a beautiful South Asian play um, that focuses on love and humanity over industrialism and materialism. Again,
Yes.
powerful. Can you tell
Yes.
us a bit of your experience from your point of view? Because again, as assistant dramaturg, I got to see you grow as an artist, but I want your perspective, like your growth, your amazing ability that I got to that I was blessed to see on stage.
Thank you so much, Gerard. So many things I learned from that play. Like it was so different. I have not put on a full production like that, let alone just a production since 2019, which was Henry V we did at UCR. But as a lead, I haven't been a lead since sophomore year in high school. And so seeing that was like it was incredible. And I was one of the few seniors involved in the production. Me, you, Brandy. I can't count every senior on my hand, but because my memory's not that good. But I felt like um, I just felt like an overseer in a way because I was seeing these people who've never done theater at all step foot into our world, and it was so amazing to see it because they were discovering so many things, and it was the most rich thing to ever watch, to see someone just like, like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy, or just like, oh, this is how she feels, or this is how it is to feel this way. This is how it is to be in this scenario or in this circumstance. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, theater. Like the whole time I was like, this is theater. Like, and they would laugh, but I'm like so serious because theater is all about discovery in yourself or in others. And it is just so cool. In my personal growth, I didn't get as much direction as I'm used to. And it was kind of scary at first, but it just showed how the classes that I took at UCR really implemented into this final play that I did at UCR, where I kind of have to give myself notes and kind of just go for different things, different scenarios, and try all different types of tactics throughout the rehearsal and even throughout performance. Even throughout performance, it was all of just having fun with your cast members, tech and crew, or tech and just our cast, the whole crew itself. We were all just having fun with each other. So it was an amazing moment. All performances were good. Some were better than the others, but they were all performances, and they felt like life-changing moments with all these people because it was their first time or just because it was our last. Super, super cool. Super, super cool.
And to all our Red Oleanders fam who are watching this right now, Maya and I, we started theater at a young age. And because of that, we are able to identify the spark when someone has their spark moment. And for you guys, we saw it in you. And that was so beautiful too. Like, I'm going to shout people out right now. Amber, Cow, Kai. Well, Kai's acted before. Who else? Dylan, Leslie, who I'm sure they've acted before. For
Yeah.
you guys who had your first time on stage, we saw your spark. We saw it in you. and it was beautiful. Keep
Yes.
keep that spark going, please, because hearts are in the arts. It's more important than you think. It's powerful. It's universal. And yeah, about the experience in Red Oleanders, I can't get enough of saying this enough, but getting to watch you guys grow, not just as artists, but as a theater family. Oh my goodness, that was just beautiful. Like that is so heartwarming. Like, and I gotta say thank you to all you guys too, because as assistant dramaturg, I was part of that journey with you guys too. It was so heartwarming. It was so beautiful. Like that time I was accidentally yanked on stage. Here's the story. I was yanked on stage during my performance of Midsummer Night's Dream. I hit the back of my head on the stage, got a concussion, and yep, it was a good memory that I'll keep with me for the rest of my life. Beautiful memory, anyway.
Yeah, and you know what, you are like, you were part of that family just because you were there and you were present with us. Where every time we see you in the audience, you're like smiling or just like there, just like, like
I
it
sat
was just a
front row
great face.
just for you guys too.
Yeah, it was a great face. You were a fresh face to see every time. Like in rehearsals even. It was a good moment. It was a good support system that we had from you. Any question we had in the report, you answered it
Pull up my
as
laptop, just
beautifully.
goes type, type, type.
Yeah, I'll check right now. Like, it was a great support system that we had from you. So that's why definitely this whole family of Redo was very, very great. And our director, Rena Dunt, love her so much. She was
Mm,
amazing. The check-ins we all had with each other, the warm-ups were very, very important. That's something I did want to say about Redo. This is the first time I had a director who like had us check in every rehearsal, and that's and a rehearsal we had every day. We were with each other every day, and I think that's the most important thing. That's something I want to steal from her because
mm.
I felt myself grow throughout the weeks. Um, whether it's outside rehearsals or inside rehearsals, I had something to say. I felt comfortable to say it to everyone. So that was like my favorite part of the whole process. Just everyone connecting with everyone, being comfortable with everyone.
The
So
connection, the theater connects, theater inspires. That's what creates theater families everywhere.
yeah, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And we got to shout out our professionals too. Rena Dudd, our amazing director, Dr. Arnab Banerjee,
Ooh,
such a pleasure to work with. Shout out
he's
to you,
so
Dr. Banerjee, if you're watching this. But yeah, okay. Well, about the inspirational part, we got to get to that. So, Maya, as an aspiring artist and as a hugely talented actress and filmmaker and writer, is there something you would like to share to our audiences, like even advices to the children out there who are going down this path?
I I would say two things. One, it is super important to be as genuine as possible about yourself. Be it. Everybody says be you. Be the. But I think Kimberly Guerrero says it all the time. Be the youest you can be. As in, don't let anybody try to change you who you are. Don't be fake to anyone. We are in an industry where we're supposed to network or whatever. Just be honest and genuine and want to be there and you'll get far. You know what I'm saying? It's super important to just be present in the moment and just make sure you go for what you want to go for, which is my next point. If you love theater, keep doing it because love is a type of passion. And like we said before, passion is so important. Passion can take you so far if you stick with it and you're genuine within yourself in it. Personally, I'm not like a fan of the industry because of its like what's the word?
It's a
Just
little
of it
toxic.
it's a little toxic and it's something I don't want to be around. And at first I'm like, I'm just gonna take myself out of that and stay away from it. But no, I think by being the UES me, I'm gonna stick inside of it and try to change it within from within. And by that, just stick to my own values, my beliefs, and just keep doing what I want to do, keep telling the story, be there for a reason, be there for the stories I want to tell instead of the people who I want to impress, because the people will come later. As long as you just keep telling your story and keep relaying a message that is important to you and not important to others, I think that's the most, you'll be fine. Just stick to what you believe in and be passionate in it, and then everything else will come along. I think that's what I would say. Yeah, just stick with your passion, guys. Or stick with your passion, y'all. It's the most important thing, because it not only benefits you yourself, but people perspectives can change. You can change somebody's life. You never know. Never know. So yeah, I think
Stay
that's what.
humble. Exactly. Stay humble and stay authentic, because there's beauty in authenticity, and like passion is more powerful than you think. So stay humble, stay authentic, stay in doing that. You're staying golden. A note to
Yes.
our golden fam. Alrighty. Well, Maya, I gotta say, oh my gosh, I really missed seeing you so much. It's good to see you again, and it was so heartwarming to have you in my series. It's oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Maya, for sharing your stories and sharing your inspirations and all. So yeah, Maya, thank you so much again. I really missed you. Hopefully, we'll we'll take on the professional arts world again together, and we'll take it by storm the same way us and the rest of GMP did in college. Like we took over the the department. Righty.
Yep. Thank you so much, Chard. I am so glad you invited me to your podcast. It's the most fun I've ever had this summer. Just talked about the arts. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I respect this a lot. I wish all the best for you and what you'll continue to do throughout your life and your career in the arts. It's gonna be amazing.
Of course. It was such a pleasure, Maya. And I wish the same for you as well, and all of the artists out there watching and pursuing their passions. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, give it one last time for Mya Maddox. Such a joy to be around. Can't wait for more memories and more episodes with you, Maya. More in the future.
Okay.